who I am. You are infinite, beyond measurement. We cannot define you by size or amount. You have no beginning, no end, and no limits. You are all powerful. You spoke all things into being. You are the embodiment of perfect goodness. You are the God who provides. You are righteous and holy, fair and equitable in all things. Impart your knowledge upon us so that we can get to know you more and fully understand all the attributes of who you are. From the end of the earth, from the depths of the sea, from the heights of the heavens, your name be praised. From the hearts of the weak, from the shoulders of the strong, from the lips of all people, your name be glorified, your name be magnified. Throughout the endless ages, you will be crowned with praises. Lord Most High, exalted in every nation, sovereign in all creation, Lord Most High, be magnified, be glorified. Through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen.
Amen. So JD, what is happening?
Yeah, well, that's a long time I've not been sitting in front of you.
Yeah. It's good to be back.
It's good to be back. Maybe for a short while, but it's good to be here.
A lot of rain this morning.
With that strange weather. Yeah, I don't know. I would never expect. I don't know much about where it come from, but one thing I'm glad that the river would be get a cleansing. That would be.
We have a caller? 91, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Morning.
Hello.
Morning, Drumstick.
Good morning. I just I find that I already wasn't on the air this morning. I'll come in late.
Yeah, the buses. We
Yeah.
couldn't get all the
Plenty
bus.
rain, yeah, plenty rain.
Yeah, plenty rain as well.
Mm-hmm. Well, have a nice day.
Thank you.
Yeah, all right.
All right, bye-bye.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, JD, plenty rain this morning.
Yeah, from last night, sometime last night, and but I don't think it was not heavy. But I was
Nah.
shocked to see the river overflow this morning. I coming down as I said. It was not heavy, just like they say a crime really just just like but like it felt probably higher in like in the mountain region.
Mm-hmm.
It just felt higher out there. I mean much higher out there.
Okay. We have a caller, 91, good morning.
Hey, Brendan, morning.
Morning, Miss Kami.
Morning, you are the agriculture program this morning, sir.
Yes.
You're not reading sports news this morning.
I am.
Anyhow, good morning to you and good morning. You guess what your name again? I don't forget it. I'm getting old.
JD.
I'm forgetting your name. Old. Anyhow, good morning to Andrew and Reedy. Why we get some rain, the farmers smiling because I the real water.
I don't say so.
I just saying good morning to everybody and Shell and Scott. Good morning for passing a look for me yesterday. And also to Devon Romaine. That was so nice. I feel so nice about that. Because a lot of people forget if I live in. Some of my good friends I know from, well, so-called friends. They don't even call to say good morning, but I'm still happy that you all pass a look for me. Good morning to Isaiah and everybody. Well, the little all the bread for the falling when you had sun and the leap on them they have. They like what you say they raise up this morning. Yeah.
That's wonderful, yeah.
That's
nature, Kami.
Eh?
That's all part of nature.
Yes. Yeah, well you promised me something and I don't get it.
And you won't get it, because what happened?
You don't have?
No, and then the plow there. I went on the plow where it was, and it just cut up everything. And they were very small. They were so small. I think what I have more bigger than them.
You know what I'm looking for as an agriculture man. What I'm looking for, I have a friend. He can see. And when he come to Grenada, he don't live in Grenada. When he come to Grenada, he want a tutayam, the yellow yam. But all who are asked,
the yellow.
Farmers have to plant that.
Yeah, but it's to get the plants, huh?
Well, you have people I get some plants from a man in Willis.
Yeah, probably Willis and
I
probably people
buy
in Budge
from it and I
Grove.
plant.
Yeah,
I just plant them.
yeah.
But I mean, there's a plant that's going out.
Yeah, it's
Farmers
out of
look starting to
extension.
plant that yam. People love a tuta. The yellow one was bitter.
Right, yeah. But you made like Budge Grove?
So anybody, I'm making a plea this morning, anybody that have a tuta stuff with it out, I want that $20 for this man. He's a good friend of mine, and he coming on vacation again. He like a tuta and breadfruit. I have breadfruit already.
Okay, come here.
But
Let it go for the weather. So,
Yes.
thanks.
Okay, well, everybody, good morning.
Right.
All right.
And get on, everybody, good morning. Bye-bye.
Bye bye. Yeah, JB, JD is really late. We need to get the weather.
It's
So,
too late?
let's call and see.
Try, you never know.
Yeah, let's
Make
call
a
and
try
see.
and see if it's too late.
All right.
During the revolution, we used to use up all the fruit that we had. When we could do nutmeg and banana, was that the
Ozone really gets it clean. Get with the Ozone family line of products. Ozone liquid laundry detergent. Perfect for your semi or fully automatic washing machines. Yet suitable for your hand wash. Soft on your hands. Ozone disinfectant cleaner. It's the most powerful disinfectant and cleaner with a long-lasting fresh scent. Tackles every job around the house or office. Ozone detergent powder and ultra soft fabric softener gets your clothes clean with a natural freshness, keeps your colors bright. Choose from the wonderful scents, soft flower, ocean breeze, and the new aloe vera. Keep your kitchen sparkling clean with the Ozone dishwashing liquid, Ozone sponges, and cleaning cloth. Ozone toilet bowl cleaner removes lime scale and kills germs while giving your toilet a refreshing scent. Ozone really gets it clean. Marketed and distributed by Calico, Frequente St. George's, and are available at shops and supermarkets nationwide.
Who wants to save 30%? Everybody! Now more than ever, Flow understands the need to make your dollar stretch. Our new bundles can help you save 30% off your current bill. Plus, get a free speed upgrade on your in-home internet. Simply add your mobile to your current home services account and save 30%. It's easy. Sign up now and save. All on the most reliable fixed and mobile network on island. Visit a Flow store or call us at 1-800-804-2994 for more information. Flow, it only gets better. Terms and conditions apply.
Green's Concept introduces the latest innovation in air conditioning technology in Grenada, providing the most energy efficient, environmentally friendly air conditioning units in Grenada. Using a natural refrigerant, our air conditioning unit systems are up to 40% more energy efficient than the current units used in the Grenadian market. Powerful cooling while using less electricity and very inexpensive. That means more money in your pocket. We offer free delivery to all locations of installation and installed by top quality trained professional engineers with over 20 years experience in the business. Contact Green's Concept 417-5460 or 442-1663. Email greensconcept@gmail.com. At Green's Concept, we cool you and the planet.
Greens Concepts announces special prices on 18,000 and 24,000 BTU units. You have been saving on power, now save on prices. Call us today.
yes, agriculture is the number one. Number one, yes, the number one. Oh yes, the number one. It's the number one.
And we're back. We must apologize for the weather. It's really late, so we have to dive into the program right now. We have been joined by Mr. Joseph Noel, the Land Bank Project Coordinator within the Ministry of Agriculture, to discuss a pilot agricultural program, JD, that will make available government lands released for agricultural purposes.
That would be great, yes.
Yes, so Mr. Noel, good morning.
Good morning, good morning.
And how are you doing, sir?
Okay, I'm fine.
What's the weather like over in your area?
Yeah, it's raining. I'm up in Mali here in St. Patrick. Yeah, and it's raining.
Okay, that's not too far from us. We're right here, JD.
Yeah, neighbors next door.
So, Mr. Noel, tell us about yourself.
Yeah, so the land bank, the pilot agricultural land bank project It's a collaborative initiative between the Ministry of Agriculture, Lands and Forestry, and the Food and Agriculture Organization, FAO. This project was officially launched in July 2017, and it's actually a regional project. There are two other CARICOM countries involved in this project, St. Vincent and the Grenadines and St. Lucia. And the Pilot Agricultural Land Bank project, it basically seeks to build a pilot land bank in Grenada to facilitate the lease of state-owned agricultural lands to people who want to get into agriculture but may not have access to lands and so on. So that's basically what the Pilot Agricultural Land Bank project is about. The objectives, the main objectives of the Pilot Agricultural Land Bank project are to reduce on the amount of idle or underutilized arable lands in Grenada, to increase access to fertile lands for landless farmers, women, youth who want to get into agriculture, who are interested in agribusiness, to improve agricultural production and to improve food and nutrition security. And internally within the Ministry of Agriculture, Lands and Forestry to help with better land administration, better administration of state-owned lands.
Okay, we just dive into the program. Mr. Noel, just before we go further into the program, just let listeners know a few things about yourself. How did you get into agriculture and what have you?
Okay, so my full name, Joseph Noel, Joseph Shane Noel, and from Mali, St. Patrick. I was a teacher, taught for 6 years at St. Joseph's Convent Grenville between 2004 and 2010. And then I went away to study. For my bachelor's degree, I did biological science, and master's degree, land resource management. So that's how I'm now involved at the Ministry of Agriculture, Lands and Forestry, attached to the Land Use Division of the ministry.
Okay, and moving back to the... Go ahead.
The Land Use Division is responsible for basically looking at land and water resources management in the country.
Okay, so moving back to the Agricultural Land Bank project, how many pilot sites are there and where are they located?
Right, so Cabinet has approved 2 pilot sites. One of them is at Grand Bacolet Estate, which is in St. Andrew, and the other pilot site is Diamond Estate in St. Mark.
Okay, what is the area and the size per lot?
Right, so at Grand Bacolet Estate, the total area of that pilot site is 64 acres, and the size per plot is approximately 4 acres. So we have in total 16 plots up for lease at the Grand Bacolet Estate pilot site.
Okay, Mr. Noel, what types of go ahead.
Yeah, so I was saying, this current call for applications applies to Grand Bacolet Estate. The call for applications for Diamond Estate, that will be open hopefully in June.
Okay, Mr. Noel, what types of agricultural activities is the ministry going to allow to take place on the pilot site?
Right, so for Grand Bacolet Estate, the ministry is mainly looking at crop production taking place at that particular pilot site. So we're mainly looking at crop production. Whether we're talking fruits, vegetables, root crops, tree crops, Yeah, so things in line with the ministry's priorities at this time, in line with the ministry's National Agriculture Plan, 2015 to 2030. Yeah, so for now, for that particular pilot site, we're mainly looking at crop production.
Okay, so for persons who are listening, can you please enlighten them about the application process?
Okay, so this current call for applications is open to individual applicants or group applicants. So you can apply individually, you can apply as an individual, or you and other people can come together to submit an application. So this call for applications is open to individual applicants as well as group applicants. The call for applications was launched last week, Friday, and this we're open to receiving applications for 2 weeks. So this week and next week. The application process is divided into 2 phases. So we have a pre-approval phase and a final approval phase. Now, during the pre-approval phase, and I'm speaking specifically for Grand Bacolet Estate because this, as I mentioned earlier on, this current call for applications applies to the Grand Bacolet Estate pilot site. So, and as I mentioned earlier, we have 16 plots up for lease. So during this pre-approval phase, we're looking to select a given number of applicants. We are going to pre-select or pre-approve at least 16 applicants. So it could be the Land Bank Selection Committee may pre-approve or pre-select 16 or may pre-approve 20, 25 to possibly lease the lands at Grand Bacolet Estate. And those pre-selected applicants, whether they're individuals or groups, we would want all of them to be trained in at least how to write a business plan. So the Pilot Agricultural Land Bank project is collaborating with the GIDC and the Climate Smart Agriculture and Rural Enterprise Program. GIDC is currently implementing a component of the SIEP called the EBD, the Enterprise Business Development component, where they're training young people in entrepreneurship, how to establish and operate businesses. And it includes, that training includes grant proposal writing and business plan writing, etc. So the Pilot Agricultural Land Bank project, we're collaborating with GIDC and SIEP to provide training to all pre-approved applicants in entrepreneurship. And that would include all pre-approved applicants being at least trained in the area of business plan writing. So that, and the reason for that, we want all the applicants to be able to submit, okay, a full business plan when it comes to the final approval phase of this application process. We would want them to submit a full business plan for the agricultural activity that they would like to undertake on the plot of land that they're looking to apply for. And they will be judged on that, among other things, taking other things into consideration, taking into account all the verifiable information that they would have provided to us on the application form, and taking into account the criteria and so on. They would be judged on those business plans that they would submit when it comes to the final approval phase for us to select the final 16 who would be finally approved to list lands up at Grand Bacolet Estate. So for applicants who are aged 18 to 35, you will need to fill out 2 application forms. the land bank application form itself and the GIDC SIEP EBD trading application form. For applicants who are over the age of 35, you will just need to only fill out the land bank application form. And that is because applicants who are over 35, they will not meet the age criteria for the EBD training. But we would organize with GIDC to have a separate training for applicants who are over 35 in business plan writing. So let me just repeat that. Applicants who are age 18 to 35, you will need to fill out 2 application forms. So when you go to the district extension offices to pick up the application form for the land bank, everyone will be given a package with the 2 application forms. And all those who are 18 to 35, you need to fill out both the land bank application form and the GIDC SIEP application form. Those who are over 35, you just need to fill out the land bank application form only.
Okay, I believe my co-host GD has a question for you.
Yeah, good morning, sir. Terms and condition, you'll be able to say anything about the terms and the condition of the list?
Right, these, yeah, regarding the terms and conditions that will be laid down in the lease agreement, we still have to finalize on those. So I can't speak much about it at this moment. Yeah.
Okay.
Would there be any encouragement to do organic farming?
Yeah, yes, there would be. The ministry would provide support in that regard. We are looking to push sustainable agriculture, sustainable land management, climate smart agriculture. We'll be pushing a lot of that, and training would be provided to those who are finally approved to lease lands at the pilot sites. Training would be provided in that regard by the ministry, the extension division, for example, or in collaboration with other projects that are currently being rolled out at this time. So, for example, training will be provided in the areas of sustainable land management, climate smart agriculture, through collaboration with projects such as the G-Cruise project and climate resilient agriculture for integrated landscape management project.
Are there water available at the Grand Bacolet project?
Yeah, there is a water source available there.
Okay.
Up at Grand Bacolet Estate pilot site. Yep.
Thank you.
So those who are finally approved to lands there, they would have to set up the irrigation systems and so, and of course support will be provided by the ministry in terms of the designing the irrigation systems and so on. So they would receive support from the ministry in that regard.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Mr. Noel, where are the applications forms available, and when is the deadline for submission?
All right, so application forms are available at all district extension offices, except for the Western District Extension Office at the moment. The application forms will be there hopefully by tomorrow. But application forms are available at all the other district extension offices, the Southern District Extension Office, the Eastern District Extension Office, and the Northern District Extension Office. Application forms are also available online, so you can get onto our Facebook page, the Ministry of Agriculture, Lands and Forestry's Facebook page, and check out our posts on the Pilot Agricultural Land Bank project, and you would see the links to download the application forms.
Okay, and my final question, what are the criteria to be eligible for selection?
All right, so we have a list of criteria for selection of eligible participants. So I'll just go through them with you. Um, it includes must be citizens or permanent residents of Grenada and must be at least 18 years old. Okay? Must be residing in Grenada, preferably in the area in which the agricultural land to be used in the project is located. So must be residing in Grenada, must be living in Grenada, and preferably in the parish in which the pilot sites are located. But it's not, this application process is not limited only to people living in the parish where the pilot sites are located. People from other parishes can apply. So for example, as we're talking about this current call for applications to lease lands at Grand Bacolet Estate, the application process is not only limited to people from the parish of St. Andrew, but people from other parishes all across Grenada can apply as well. Failure to be registered as a farmer with the Ministry of Agriculture will not exclude the applicant. However, successful applicants must become registered farmers. Okay, so people who are already into agriculture and looking to or thinking about applying to lease lands at Grand Bacolet Estate, and you're not registered, you're not a registered farmer with the Ministry of Agriculture, you can still apply. That doesn't stop you from sending in an application. But if you are successful, if you're one of those that's finally approved to lease lands up there at Grand Bacolet, then you would have to become a registered farmer.
Okay.
Must have, yeah?
You go ahead. You go ahead.
Okay, so the other criteria, number 4, must have or be able to qualify for sufficient finance to fund the project until it becomes self-sustaining or profit-generating. And in light of this criteria here, that is why in the pre-selection or pre-approval phase, we're going to ensure, in collaboration with the Grenada Investment Development Corporation, that all the pre-approved applicants will receive training in business plan writing, because that is key, because those who are finally selected to lease lands at Grand Bacolet Estate, they would need financing to undertake whatever they want to undertake on the plot of lands that they've applied to lease. And we need them to be able to prepare sound business plans, viable business plans, that at least they'll be able to take to a financial institution and make a strong case to be able to get a loan to start off their agricultural activity on the plot of land that they've applied to lease. Also, with that collaboration that we're going to have with GIDC SIEP, the pre-approved applicants that qualify or that meet the criteria for the EBD training, so those who are 18 to 35, under that EBD training program that is being implemented by GIDC, those who successfully complete that training, and it's a 31-day intense training, and once they do very well in that, and post-training, once they pass all the necessary steps that GIDC has in place, once they pass all those necessary steps of submitting a grant proposal and qualifying for the first push grant to test out their business idea, and once they get through that successfully, and then they would need to work on a business plan. And once that's that business plan is evaluated to be very sound, and so then they have the opportunity, or there is a possibility of them being able to access a large business grant of 25,000 to 75,000 EC dollars. So so that is why we're looking to have, as I said, all pre-approved applicants be trained with GIDC, whether under the EBD or that separate training that we're going to have for those who are over 35 in business plan writing, so that they'll be able to at least be able to submit proposals, whether it's for grant financing, or be able to make a strong case to a financial institution to get a loan. Because we want the activities up at the pilot sites to be very successful, to be a model. So I mentioned 4 criteria already: must be citizens or permanent residents of Grenada and must be at least 18 years old, must be residing in Grenada, preferably, but not limited to, the area in which the agricultural land to be used in the project is located. Failure to be registered as a farmer with the Ministry of Agriculture will not exclude the applicant. However, successful applicants must become registered farmers. Must have or be able to qualify for sufficient finance to fund the project until it becomes self-sustaining or profit-generating. And as I mentioned before, that even before being finally approved, we are going to ensure that people are trained in entrepreneurship, trained in business plan writing. So that would at least help them in raising financing, or giving them the opportunity to get grant financing to be able to start off their activity on the plot of land that they would be leasing. The other criteria number 5, must have some knowledge of and be willing to practice sustainable farming and environmentally sound practices. And for those who may be finally approved but have very limited knowledge of sustainable farming and so on like that, as I mentioned earlier on, training will be provided on a continuous basis in that regard, in sustainable land management, climate smart agriculture, etc. Either by the ministry, the extension division, or in collaboration with other projects. Criteria number 6, priority access to land will be given to full-time applicants as opposed to part-time applicants. And when I say full-time applicants, that means people who are applying to lease the land to get into agriculture full-time, who will not take up another job requiring more than 80 hours per month of their time during the period of the lease. Okay? And part-time applicants means people who are applying to lease the land but have no intention of getting into agriculture full-time because of current or future commitments, which require more than 80 hours per month of their time. So priority will be given to people who are looking to get into agriculture full-time, yeah, and not have another job, have a full-time job that they are attending to, that they need to be at. So, and criteria number 7, priority will be given to persons who have a history of successful completion of agricultural projects, but currently have no access to lands. And the final criteria, number 8, priority will be given to women and youth age 18 to 35 with agricultural experience. So the application process is open to people who are at least 18 years old. There is no upper age limit, but priority will be given to people who are 18 to 35, to women and youth 18 to 35 with agricultural experience. But as I've been saying all along, people who are over 35 are also welcome to apply. Yes?
Lastly,
So these are the 8.
you have a question, JD?
Yeah, I listened carefully to what Mr. Noel has been saying, and it sounds good. That project sounds very good, and there are three P's which came up, and which, as he said, will be entailed. Is the purpose of the project, and there seems to be a lot of planning into the project, and the getting people prepared for that project, which is a key, key factors in those in getting forward. So I do hope that that will come on stream, and those will make meaningful benefits to our agriculture sector in Grenada. That's it for me.
Okay. Mr. Noel, any last word before we wrap up?
So just to remind listeners where they can pick up the application forms. Application forms are available at all district extension offices, except for the Western District Extension Office at this time. The application forms should be there tomorrow, God's will. And you can also download the application forms from online. So please check out the ministry's Facebook page to get the links to go download the application forms. So you can download them, print them, fill them out, and please submit the completed application forms to the district extension offices, and then they will send them down to us. And please remember that the deadline for applications is Friday, 7th May, 2021. So that's next week, Friday. That's the deadline for submission of the completed application forms. And those who are 18 to 35, please remember that you need to fill out two application forms, the Land Bank application form itself and the GIDC SIEP EBD training application form. For those who are over 35, you just only need to fill out the Land Bank application form. All right. Yeah, so I think that's about it. The call for applications for Diamond Estate, that would be launched, we're looking at June. So hopefully in June, we're going to launch the call for applications to lease the land at the Diamond Estate pilot site.
Okay. JD, we should take two calls before we go, because I believe the phone been going off a while now.
Yeah, I think that's fine.
I believe our listeners have some questions for Mr. Noel. But before we take any call, Mr. Noel, you want to say good morning to anyone before you leave?
Well, good morning to, I guess, all my friends and neighbors in St. Patrick here. Good morning to all my family members. Good morning to all my colleagues who are listening.
Okay. We have a caller here.
Colleagues down at the ministry and former colleagues at Convent Grenville who might be tuned in as well.
Okay. We have a caller. Anyone? Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning to all the gentlemen. I didn't hear it clearly. The gentleman name is
Mr. Joseph Noel.
Joseph Noel. Okay. One of the questions I want to ask him is, the lands at Bacolet, is it government-owned lands, or is it land that government is partnering with somebody to be listed? The reason I'm asking that is I don't want, when the project starts, that you have problems that the owner of the land wants back the land, or the arrangement with government is not properly tied up, so that you come into some conclusion where the persons cannot continue farming. Secondly, what amount of land that do they have in Diamond? And if it's the government lands again too? Because as I said, you could get yourself tied up when the lands are person's lands that government might have some access to.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Bridgman.
Yeah.
All right. Mr. Noel, you heard the question?
No, I didn't hear the question. So can you please?
Yeah, what he was asking, the lands that are available for persons to lease at Grand Bacolet, do they belong to the government?
Yes, state-owned agricultural land. Government-owned land, yes.
So there you have it, Mr. Bridgman. I hope that helps you.
If it's government owned, and what amount of land would be available at Diamond Estate?
Yeah.
Right, so at Diamond Estate, the size of the pilot site is 45 acres. We have not started subdivision of the Diamond Estate pilot site as yet. So in terms of what the plot size would be, we haven't made a decision on that as yet.
Okay, so
But
Mr.
for Grand Bacolet, the total acreage is 64 acres,
64
and
by
each
6,
plot
16.
will be approximately 4 acres.
Okay. Well, Mr. Noel, thank you so much for being here with us this morning. I'm sure listeners, they are well educated on the project, and we hope that it's a success. JD?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, until we hear from him, hoping to hear from him again when things kicked off.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
You enjoy this, sir.
Yeah, thanks very much, and it was a pleasure being on the program this morning to explain to the public what the Pilot Agricultural Land Bank project is about, and to give them as much details as possible on the application process. So thanks very much for having me.
You're most welcome. You have a blessed day, sir.
Thank you. Same to you.
All right, bye-bye. This is Real 91.9 FM, 91.5, www.therealfmgrenada.com. The time is exactly 7 minutes gone past the 8 o'clock hour. We're going to take a short break and come back. We're just speaking there to Mr. Joseph Noel. He's the coordinator. I want to get this right. The land bank coordinator.
For land use.
Yes. Let's take a short break and we'll come back.
All the way down to Trinidad.
Welcome, listeners, to another program of Did You Know? A 5-minute feature from the Grenville Cooperative Credit Union. I am your presenter, Oslin Crosby. On this week's program, we discuss the importance of financial disaster preparedness. Containment of financial loss, regardless of its cause, is a key goal of virtually every organization's risk strategy, providing a compass for many of the actions taken to avoid, mitigate, transfer, and retain risk enterprise-wide. Yet catastrophic events too often result in losses that exceed the expectations of management. Such losses highlight the need for organizations to more fully address their exposure to financial losses through the process of financial disaster preparedness. Financial preparedness is a crucial component of disaster planning that addresses the actions necessary for an organization to mitigate financial losses following a catastrophic event. Long before a catastrophic disaster occurs, these actions need to be identified, understood, and addressed. It is clearly not the optimal time to initiate the process while the fire is burning, the ground shaking, or the water rising. Recovery from a disaster can present many unexpected challenges that directly affect financial recovery, such as delays in restoration, issues continuing operations, and generating revenue, unexpected cost, and challenging insurance claims. These and other issues can make it difficult to project the outcome of a catastrophe and manage expectations within the organization. Financial preparedness creates a solid foundation for a more resilient, timely, and effective recovery process. It helps maximize financial recovery through insurance and other sources, and in doing so, minimizes economic loss. In short, it can mean the difference between significant financial loss and substantial recovery. We are due now for a break. More when we return.
When you think of Grenville Cooperative Credit Union, what comes to mind? A reliable financial institution that has stood the test of time. Maybe you think about the convenience and quality financial service they provide. Do you think about their readiness to help you retire, achieve your academic goals, build your dream home, buy the piece of land, or the elegant car? Or maybe the convenience of their different locations, Jubilee Street in Grenville, the sub-office at Belmont Estate, or the new outlet on Lucas Street in St. George's in the Derek Sylvester building. Maybe you always consider how they're always a phone call away, 442-8602 or 438-4228. No matter what comes to mind, remember,
Grenville Cooperative Credit Union is the best place to save and to borrow, working with you to make your brighter tomorrow.
Welcome back, listeners. Before we went on the break, we were sharing on the importance of financial disaster preparedness. Understanding the organization's risk. Financial disaster preparedness begins with a thorough understanding of the risk facing the organization. As an organization grows and its operations become more intricate, its risks change and tend to become more complex. Accordingly, risks need to be assessed continuously, an exercise typically orchestrated by the risk manager with support from throughout the company. Beyond the many challenges of physical recovery following a catastrophe, additional problems affecting financial recovery often occur because key areas of risk were overlooked or their potential impacts were not fully understood. Risks that are not identified or clearly understood in advance are difficult to manage in a cost-effective manner following a catastrophic event. Such risks expose an organization to unexpected and often avoidable financial losses. The process of risk identification, analysis, mitigation, and transference is a critical part of the financial preparedness process. We stop here for this week. Next week, we continue on this very the importance of financial disaster preparedness on next week's program. And now for what's happening. Members and the general public are advised that regular Saturday operations will resume at our main office on Jubilee Street, Grenville, this Saturday, August 1st, 2020. So until next week, I am your presenter, Oslin Crosby. Grenville Credit Union, your financial institution who values our membership and strives to provide exceptional customer service.
Yes, agriculture is the number one. Number one, yes, the number one. Oh yes, the number one. It's the number one. Why you disown agriculture? I'm talking to the youths of this nation and those wicked politicians, like they want to structure the plan.
And we're back. The time is exactly 12 minutes gone past the 8 o'clock hour. We're now joined by BJ. BJ, good morning.
Good morning. Morning, JD.
Good morning,
listeners
BJ.
in public.
Yeah, good morning.
Nice weather this morning.
Yeah, where rain come from? Or?
No, from God.
I know.
I assume we well needed that bit of rain.
Yeah, with the heat and
outside was fairly dry.
Dry, yeah. And I was saying earlier on, one of the reasons I'm happy that the river get a cleanse.
Yeah, that was going through my mind.
Yeah, that river, come on. And I wouldn't be surprised if people lose animal by the river. No, you know.
You just pass through River Antoine, and probably they may be diverting the traffic from Pointsville because it seems as though most of the traffic is going down that side. So I assume that temporary bridge probably, not true. It probably got washed away because the water seems to be going down fairly heavy.
Yeah, heavy. And the thing about it, the rain wasn't falling heavy, you know. Just like.
But it fall for a long time.
It fell for a long time.
For quite a long time. Yeah. But what I was saying to people who have tied the animals by the river, thinking about the dry season and all of that. I know a guy who a couple of days ago had it by the river. I don't think moved them out.
Oh.
Thinking about the dry season and nothing will happen. But he might get a shock fight live this morning, you know, with that weather.
Well, I hope that's not the case.
That's not the case. I do hope so.
So, BG, what is happening?
What is happening in relation to? Was just listening to the land bank.
Land
project?
bank here.
Yeah. That was really interesting.
Yeah.
Lots of information from Mr. Noel.
Yeah.
I'm also a member of the land bank committee.
Okay.
And I think Mr. Noel is a very hardworking, organized person, and he seems to be, getting things in the right perspective.
Okay.
And I hope that the farmers, or the prospective farmers, will make the best use out of the lands that are available. So That went on well this morning. I think a lot of information was provided.
And then they seem to have a lot of training to get people trained and into the right direction. And
only problem is that the quantity of applicants you may have, the land seems to be limited.
Well, what
when you're thinking about 16,
finally, 16 by 4, 16 4-acre plots. Yeah.
You needed 600 4-acre plots. What? I guess we
Is
live
it
in a small
available?
country.
Maybe yes, it's just the pilot project. It's just the pilot.
Well,
so
it's
maybe
not just the
a-
pilot project. There is a scarcity of lands in Grenada to farm, seriously farm.
While they are
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
While they have a lot of lands idle there. I mean, there's a lot of lands that is idle there, but quite a lot of lands.
I think per capita, in relation to our population, we have the most landowners in the Caribbean.
I really didn't know that.
I'm telling you. Yeah.
So what can we do?
In relation to?
Finding
Idle
more
lands.
lands. 'Cause we
Well,
have
we have a lot of lands that are idle,
lands,
and some of the best lands aren't worked.
Yeah, I would believe that.
And I of the opinion that this is something that the ministry and government need to look at. If you want your country to be productive, you would have to definitely look at cultivating those idle lands to get the agriculture sector more productive. Simple like that. Man couldn't have 200-300 acres of land, arable lands, and the lands are left abandoned. This is abandoned. Nobody doing any work in it. Nothing happening, and it's not good for your country. I'm not sure it's good for the person too. Either. So some arrangement can be made, or should be made, to get those lands, cultivated.
And most
I
of
heard
those,
Clifford making mention to that for the last 3-4 years. That we need to do something about those idle lands, and see if we can, activate them and get something happening there. It will be better for Grenada. It will be better for the person who owns the lands.
And most of those idle lands are family owned, and they have a lot of conflict and with those land issues. So
It's not a Grenada problem alone.
No.
It's a Caribbean problem.
It happens all over.
Everywhere.
Yeah. So JD, what you got planned this morning?
Well, I was expecting a guest, but I haven't seen or heard from him. So I will just give the planting dates for June. No, sorry, for May. Sorry, yeah. So the planting dates for May, above the ground, you have the 15th, the 16th, the 24th, the 25th. I repeat, the 15th, the 16th, the 24th, and the 25th. And below the ground, the 10th, the 22nd, and the 23rd. Below the ground, the 10th, the 22nd, and the 23rd, according to the McDonald's Almanac. Yes, that's it.
Okay, BJ, one a guy told me to ask you this. With the issue with the ash and the Sahara dust in the air, do farmers especially know how to deal with it in terms of the plants growing, the effects it will have on the plants? Do you have any recommendations or?
Well, I often think that we are living in a blessed country, and Grenadians are blessed people, and sometimes we flop in God's face uselessly. Think about it. Think about all the ash that we've been having over the last, several weeks, and some of this ash lodge themselves onto the leaves of the plants. If you have banana plots, you will notice it very vividly because of the wide surface area of the leaves. Now, what happened is that this creates a barrier between the sunlight and the leaves, the actual leaf itself. You understand? You have that layer of dust that's not supposed to be there, preventing the sunlight from really going through as it should. You can't see it with your naked eyes like that because you think, oh, it's all right, the leaves look green. When you pass your hands on the leaves, you will notice that you have this powdery substance there. Now, with this heavy rain that we had last night, all of those stuff will be washed off the leaves, and get into the soil. In a lot of cases, those things can be useful. Some of those ash contain nutrients, elements that are, useful to the plant themselves. In fact, you notice that people will take ash in some cases and put around the plants. Like after they burn, stuff around the place, they will pick up the ash and, put around the plants and stuff. And they think that they get a bit of, nutrients from it, or elements, so to speak, from it that are useful to the plants. And I of the opinion that nothing one can do about it, just like that. Sometimes it takes the act of God to correct certain problems, and this is actually what is happening now. I'm sure if this rain would have fallen in St. Vincent, the people would have welcomed those kind of rain.
No, but that they said that would be a problem. Those who did not clean yet, up to last night I was listening to a program in St. Vincent, and they said that if you didn't clean, it will be a problem.
Clean in relation to
the ash, even like where it fell.
Well, it's too much in
yes,
certain places.
Yeah, so
in
they
St.
say
Vincent, some places.
What they say that it will kick and become like
a hard pan.
A hard pan, right? So the guy was saying he has 5 acres of land that he cultivates into fruit, and he said had he known that before, well, that would have going to come. He was going to prune the trees, but now that the ash has come and with the rain, it will add more weight. It will add more weight to the trees, the fruit trees, and they might
breakage and stuff.
Breakage, yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, and he said they should have, if they gather that all before any rain came, you could even use it to do it in construction, for construction and so.
Yeah, because I was watching the video from St. Vincent, where people were cleaning up the area, and the ash turned like concrete.
I'm not talking about those areas. Those areas need corrective measures like plowing and removal and stuff like that. There are certain areas that will be affected so bad that it's not recommended that you go and cultivate plants in those areas. You would have to have it corrected over time. I'm speaking about places like on the outskirts where people seems to be doing a bit of farming still, where it's not affected so bad. Those ash can be useful.
Yeah, particularly crops like cucumbers, they could be, they do well with ash. Ash is a very good thing for them.
But to me, I was of the opinion that ash is harmful to plants.
It depends on the quantity.
Yeah, but anything too much, one of the better ash you could get, if you burn natural, like the wood or so. But the one of the beneficial ash is the volcano leaves. If you burn that and you add it to your plants, it's very beneficial to some plants, not all plants. So.
The thing about ash, some of them don't dissolve very readily. So what you find is that it will help improve the texture of the soil, the structure of the soil. Because what you would find happening is that when you add sand to clay soil, you get that nice mix that doesn't allow the soil to become very, hard and the particles stick together. What the ash does is to find its way in between those particles that stick and allow for aeration and percolation of water. So what you find, the crops tend to do better, the roots tend to fare much better, they breathe better, they absorb and they absorb water much better.
Okay. We let's take a short break, BJ, and we'll come back.
Okay, good.
Take some calls when we get back. All right.
We used to use up all the fruits that we had. When the cocoa, nutmeg and banana was at the highest level. Now the youth them don't want to take over from the elders and continue. Oh, that's why everybody want to sit down in compute.
Fast Pay, a new and easy way to pay. Fast Pay, Fast Pay.
You asked for it and you got got it. A quicker way to pay your bills online. It's fast, secure, and easy to use. No registration, no additional fees. Flow is now offering FastPay, an online service that allows you to settle your bills in less than 2 minutes. Need a receipt? FastPay will send it to your email immediately. Use FastPay now for convenience, safety, and efficiency at discoverflow.co/fastpay.
Flow fast pay. 2 minutes and you're on your way. Flow fast pay. Flow fast pay.
Flow is keeping you connected.
A message from Grenlec. Help us serve you better while we maintain our COVID-19 safety protocols. Please make an appointment for non-payment services. You can do so by email at customersupport@grenlec.com, WhatsApp on 473-405-6931, or call 237, select option 3, extension 311. When making an appointment, please provide your customer name, telephone number, service required, and the customer care center you would like to visit. Together, we can keep each other safe. Together, we will smile again. A message from Grenlec.
Green's Concept introduces the latest innovation in air conditioning technology in Grenada, providing the most energy efficient, environmentally friendly air conditioning units in Grenada. Using a natural refrigerant, our air conditioning unit systems are up to 40% more energy efficient than the current units used in the Grenadian market. Powerful cooling while using less electricity and very inexpensive. That means more money in your pocket. We offer free delivery to all locations of installation and installed by top quality trained professional engineers with over 20 years experience in the business. Contact Green's Concept 417-5460 or 442-1663. Email greensconcept@gmail.com. At Green's Concept, we cool you and the planet.
Greens Concepts announces special prices on 18,000 and 24,000 BTU units. You have been saving on power, now save on prices. Call us today.
I'm Shadell Naya Compton of Belmont Estate, and I've worked in the tourism industry in Grenada for 20 years, and I just love what I do. When COVID-19 halted business and I had to close my doors, it was so painful. Loss of income, loss of guests, loss of staff. Today, there's light again because of the COVID-19 vaccine. I listened to the scientists and to my trusted friends in the medical profession. I took the vaccine to get back to work and back to life. And because I care for myself and for each of you, I am only one. But together, we can get there.
Treat yourself from head to toe with A1 hair, skin, and beauty products from Sarah's Hair and Beauty Supply Store, located on Ben Jones Street in Grenville, close to the New Testament Church. Want to achieve that classy Instagram model look? Come visit us at Sarah's Beauty Salon. We offer expression, pre-stripped, and antibacterial braids, forelocks, Jericho, deep wave, yaki weave. Liftfront wigs are also available, both synthetic and human hair. Of course, we offer a collection of extensions, Brazilian 100% human hair and Peruvian 100% virgin remedy. We provide our customers with the finest nail care products, eyelashes, do-rags, razors, shaving products, and weaving needles to keep you stylish and popping. Visit Sarah's Hair and Beauty Supply Store today, and remember, we treat our customers with the lowest prices nationwide and raging discounts store-wide. Sarah's Hair and Beauty Supply Store, where all your beauty wishes will most certainly be granted.
Yes, agriculture is the number one. Number one, yes, the number one. Oh yes, the number one. It's the number one. Why you disown agriculture? I'm talking to the youths of this nation. And those wicked politicians, like they want to structure the plan. Well, from here to the revolution, agriculture was on top.
And we're back to listen to Real 91.9 FM, 91.5. The time is exactly 29 minutes gone past the 8 o'clock hour. Now, BJ, we were speaking about the ashes before we took a break, and someone said that people in St. Vincent should bag out the ashes and sell it to different countries in the Caribbean.
Sell it or sell it?
Sell it.
Okay.
Well, that's an interesting thought. The problem with that is the cost. Remember, you have to transport it, you have to bag it, and you don't want to do something, and when you send it to another country, it doesn't make economic sense. You'd have to find out the demand for it.
Okay.
And remember, it wouldn't be sold all at one time.
Yeah.
So you have to think about storage and all those things. So this is a good thought, but or something people can look into, but I'm not sure.
Okay.
Probably the people in St. Vincent may need it all for themselves. You never know.
That's too much.
You never know. You never know.
That's too much.
I've seen a lot of seaweed just like that, and when you look around, you don't see any seaweed.
Yeah.
We have a caller, 91. Good morning.
Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning.
How is everybody?
Fine, thank you.
Right, agriculture again. No, I will have to get what you call a commission for that idea with respect to the ash at St. Vincent, because I'm the one who proposed that. I think
Get some commission on that.
Yeah, St. Vincent have an opportunity to make some money. This should not go to waste. It should be bagged and stockpiled and being sold throughout the Caribbean. And even in St. Vincent to be used, because you see, it's something as a white lime, it's potassium. It has a lot of potassium in that, among other elements, and so it is a fertilizer, and that should never remain there to go to waste. So it's an opportunity to have to make some money, and I think I should seize that. It's a once-in-a-lifetime thing. No, we're talking agriculture. I don't know. I heard about land bank for quite some time. I have heard about idle farms for quite some time. I heard about farmers not having an interest in farming anymore. I used to be a farmer, banana farmer, nutmeg farmer, cocoa farmer. But since Ivan, I have not returned to my field because it's done, and that's I have some trees there still. But the distance from the main road, and there is no road now, so I abandoned that. I'm not going to go back there. But are you aware that many people use the land for speculative purposes based on what the future plans, what they want to do, or they use it for security? Are you aware of that? If you're aware of those, and I understand you guys are farmers, if you're aware of that, wouldn't it be wise enough, rather than focus on putting land in land bank and contemplating on the idle lands for sale, look for a market for all the produce that the farmer would produce. I say everything, even what you call the ratoon, so you don't have a void. And once you can do that, I believe people are going to gravitate back to the agriculture. It happened when the tourism industry was up, and I actually dealt with that for a number of years, convinced people that tourism agriculture is the way to go. Yes, it was successful, but look at now, well, it's down because of the situation in tourism. So I believe if we concentrate on finding markets for the farmers' produce, we will solve this idle land problem. I have neighbors in full-time in agriculture. They're doing well, but we get no farmer. But when you produce just above the minimum, or even at the minimum, the market is glut. It's not trying to target 2 or 3 large-scale farmers, because that will not work. It's targeting every single farmer from a quarter of an acre plant right up, so you have the volume, and then you find the market for that. Once you can find the market, I could assure you that many, many people is going to gravitate back, because agriculture have some money. But if you don't have the market, you just can't make the money. The few people who are in agriculture, in farming, they are making the money. But let's say another 5,000 or 6,000 persons enter this field. You know what it is? The glut market again. And everybody going back to square one. So I think the focus should be on finding a market. Because the thing about idle lands will never go away once you don't find a market. Roads is another problem. You don't have good roads to enter the farm, you have a problem there. So solution is find a market, and then every other thing is going to fall in place. As a farmer, I'm saying, so that is my advice to the agricultural sector, to the people who are in the Ministry of Agriculture, and people who are serious about agricultural production. Have a great day, sir.
All right.
All right. I was making a lot of sense. in the absence of guaranteed market, you will have an issue. Remember when nutmegs used to be like $5 a pound? Everybody back in the land, everybody in the hillside, swooping under the tree to make sure that one, seed don't stay behind, because the price is good. In the absence of, a stable market, you would have problem with production. And tend to agree with the caller that, hang on, something, if you don't have a guaranteed market, if you don't have a market that is available for you all the time, what sense it may go in and produce? It's like you're dealing with risky business. You're more or less gambling. You're uncertain, and you couldn't really go about life in that uncertain way. It really don't make no sense. Secondly, I want to stress on this point with regard to zoning with agriculture. Too many times government spend millions of dollars on putting in roads in places where they consider as agricultural area, and all of a sudden you have like a suburban developing in that area, a nice little town or a nice little village or something like that. People start building houses on those lands, and you know what happens? All of a sudden you build, and your son come and build, and your grandmother come and build, and what you find is a little town. And let's face it, when you put buildings on some of those lands, you're just eating up the space. We should have areas where people can, use for, building purposes, and we should have areas where we designate for agriculture. In the absence of that, you're more or less, people doing what they want. You're disorganized, and you couldn't really develop your agriculture sector that way. So the caller is making some really important points.
My thing is, who is responsible for that marketing thing? Who is the government? Is it the farmers or what?
JD is a collective approach. Sometimes an individual can develop a market, or he can establish a niche market. He can have things going on that other people can tap into and join whatever. You have marketing board, you have government officials, you have how do we call them, diplomats. All those people should engage in trying to search for market, and I'm speaking about market that makes sense. Permanent market that not those kind that they take something today and next week
you're not sure.
You don't sure about them and those kind of things.
Because one of the things too that comes up is quality. Can we produce quality for the outside market? And because sweet potatoes, I was doing some research these days on Jamaica agriculture, and they export a lot of sweet potatoes to Canada, and what I found out too, the highest sweet potatoes there are the Jamaican sweet potatoes. But we have a lot has to go into it.
See, JD, Jamaica is like what, 4,000 something square miles? I don't know. Don't quote me on that. Just on the top of my head. Sure, but it's a lot of square miles.
A lot of,
I think the smallest parish in Jamaica, Grenada, can go inside it maybe several times. And I of the opinion that we need to find some really good niche market. Market that can absorb quantities that we are producing. We need to be more consistent. That's true.
That's okay. Consistent.
But remember, you only can be consistent if you have a market. If you doesn't have a market, you cannot be consistent. You more or less, let me give you an example, JD. We are doing lots of plantains now, and 6-8 months ago, marketing board was paying $2 for plantains, which was really great, good price, and they were taking as much as they could. All of a sudden, they said, BG, something, we going to reduce the price to $150. Still decent price, but we're going to drop the quantities that we are taking. What do I do with the rest? And they switch from that now. Even this week, they said, BJ, we have a lot, we can't be bothered with you, What do I do with it? I wonder if you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Brethren, it's not like that. You need to have arrangement. You need to have relationship, whereby when you produce this stuff, it's going to be sold. This is a point I want to make here this morning. Also, we need to establish proper relationship with buyers and sellers. I remember once I had and that wasn't too long ago, quite a bit of watermelons. Didn't know what to do with it. And I called, most of you people would have known him as Livingston Nelson, who, hit the drums and whatever. And I called him because he normally purchased stuff from me. I said, hang on, boss, come take, a van load of watermelon here. I doesn't know what to do with it. I just have it. He said, drop it over. And I did expect to get maybe $1,000 because you have a lot on the market, maybe about 1,500 pounds. Can't remember the quantity. We didn't even wait. And he called me at the end of the week and he said, BJ, I have some money for you. When I showed up, he gave me $2,700. I didn't say anything. I just watched him and I thought, well, he's probably making a mistake. And I put him in my pocket. And he said, BJ, you have again, you can drop some next week, The point I'm making, sometimes those are the relationships that you need to establish with your, with the people, the vendors and whoever.
Key,
Even marketing board. I had quite a bit of cucumbers. And marketing board wanted, I think it was 3 crates or something like that, or 6 crates. And they were paying, I think $150 a pound, I can't remember, per pound. And I said, hang on, I have like about 12 crates, 15 crates. I said, you can take the 15 crates and give me $1 a pound. They said, no, VJ, we only want 6 crates. What do I do with the rest? I said, take the rest on consignment. If it sells, you pay for it. No, right. VJ, we don't take part in that. Well, I want to reach this stage whereby I just produce the stuff. Marketing board sells and they pay for whatever sell. In that way, the consumers, you don't understand what I'm saying.
The price should be
can get it at the price that they ought to be paying for it.
A reasonable price.
Reasonable price.
Not a reasonable price, a good price.
A good price. Well, a good reasonable price.
Reasonable.
We have a caller.
All right.
Anyone, good morning.
Oh, yes, good morning once again. Sorry for coming back so quickly.
That's okay.
But the conversation is very interesting. Now, you talk about the missions and consulate and embassies abroad. Yes, those areas could be market agency. I did propose that to the government a few years ago. You use the embassies, mission, and consulate abroad, and the permanent Grenadian home overseas to assist in the marketing. But these still should be able to establish permanent markets within the various countries. What are they doing? You see? Now, there is another area I want to look at, which is a pack house. Could we have a Caribbean pack house? In other words, the smaller countries supply a large entity like Jamaica or even Trinidad and Tobago, who may have the facilities to store quantity and then to find what you call an outside market. So rather than Grenada, St. Vincent, St. Lucia, trying in a small way to be big, to produce, to ship independently, where it's going to be costly, we find one exporter. So we ship to Trinidad or we ship to Jamaica, just as we ship in the banana to Britain, we ship this product to them. They create it and ship it beyond. Could we establish this through the curriculum regime? Those are the areas we have to go in the interest of the farmer, because you are making the point then now that you had this glut and you couldn't find a market. So suppose it could have been many other farmers in the same position with you, and what will happen to them? No, so those are the areas that we really have to concentrate on. Now, the question of roads or developing communities with agricultural initiatives is a question that I put to the ministry a few years ago, well, all the time. And all I got from the ministry is that, well, if government take money and do the road in the way you want it, the people got to turn around and sell the land at higher price. So what's wrong about that? If I have lands to be sold, to distribute to my children or whoever it is, and I sell 1 acre from 10 acres. 1 acre from 10 acres, 9 acres. I can't work 10 acres, but if I sell 9 acres out of the 10 and have 9 extra persons farming back to back, Wouldn't this be more production? Yes, they will have to put a house on the land. So I don't see anything wrong in bringing the development there, the water, electricity, whatever, the roads, water, electricity, and allow people to go back to farming in the traditional way on the farm. So you don't have to call put police to watchman or people stealing because you go be able to put lights around your place in the night. Can we go that area as a means of an attraction to people going into farming and say, well, look, no, we can't put roads there because if we put the road there, they're going to cut up these lands. No, things change and people have to find a place to live. So those to me I call it backward thinking. I call it backward thinking because you have the population that is rising and young people are becoming mature, responsible. They have to find their own. Where do they find it? They have to either buy it from somebody or the parents give. So you cannot and shouldn't stop that kind of development. All you have to do, when you do these things, you manage it. So you will say, look, we will not allow you to put a house beyond, well, too big, let's put it that way, to eat up all the land. So you put a house there, and we must know what you want to, or what we want you to plant, then you will plant that. We manage every single person who will do that. So we up production, but you have people satisfied, well, I have a place to live, I have a house, and I have a piece of land to work. My father and his friends in the area, that was the condition. Every single 2-acre lot had a house on it. But you know what happened now? There's no houses in the area because everybody left. Why? There's no road, there's no water, there's no electricity. Those are the initiatives we have to push. If we really, really want to get people back into farming, people have to see a way of developing themselves. They must develop. And if you're holding people back where you can't do this, well, look, I have this house in this area here. That is 10 miles from the lands that I want to work. Why do I go work in land 10 miles from my home? Would I get anything in my land? It is bringing the people right back to the area, managing them, getting back to production. Those are the things we'll have to do. It's imperative. We cannot waste them or shouldn't waste them because we waste a lot of time doing that over the years and we doesn't have the money to do a lot of things now. If we did it in the past, we would see a production is up. Everybody will be farming on the land, producing. All we have to do is to find the market. Those are the things I am promoting that I would like to see. Agree?
Yes, agreed. 100%.
Bye-bye.
All right, thank you.
And see, the caller made very important point about having the utilities and roads close to the farm, whereby people can reside on the farm, so they spend more time doing work because we have that problem in Grenada. People goes to the farm and spend 2 hours and get back home, and they tell you they make a long day on the farm after doing 2 hours. You really can't farm by doing that. People turn to farming or deal with farming as subsidiary things. They have other job and they just go to the land and scratch up. Well, this is not serious farming. This is not serious productive farming. The caller also made this point about back-to-back farming. In a place they call St. Elizabeth in Jamaica, they do back-to-back farming. Brandon, you see where you live there? Mm-hmm. You farm to reach your neighbor on the next side, and your neighbor farm to reach you, so there is no idle land.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? However, this requires, people to be united. As the caller was saying, you have to manage those people. But I can tell you from experience, I'm not sure it's easy to manage Grenadians, I wonder how the Prime Minister do that all the time. How you manage the country, you understand what I'm saying? We build and break up and we always find, arbitrary things to do, what we shouldn't be doing. And the same things we break up, we try building them back again, and we in that vicious cycle. So I'm saying that the caller is making some important points here. However, I also want to stress, there are certain areas of farming that requires large expanse of land. I notice we have a tendency in Grenada to chop up lands into 2-acre and 3-acre and 4-acre and 5-acre block. Verdin, yes, that is good. And in some instances we can do this. But you telling me in this daytime and age, you give a man a 3-acre plot of land Burden that can sustain the man, you know. Seriously. In order to farm, you know, there is something they call economies of scale. In order to farm, you know, efficiently, in a lot of cases, you need large expanse of land. Let me give you an example. If you notice, most people who get involved in land cultivation these days, when they clear up, they put on a big portion of watermelon. And then they take off the watermelon and they let a few months pass and they put back watermelon again. And then you have this diminishing production. You start off getting 60,000 pounds, then you get 40, then you get 30, then you get 20, and you keep asking yourself why. It's because of the nature of the crop that you are cultivating, you know. They recommend that when you plant watermelon in an area, you should wait at least 5 years before you plant back watermelon there again. Otherwise, you're depleting the soil of its nutrients.
Yeah, that's a fact.
And not just that, what you can do, you can have something what we call monocropping, the same crop over and over in the same area. And what you can get a build up a disease. Once it happens in Paul's, all the farmers used to grow watermelon there. And there comes a time when nobody couldn't grow watermelon. Every time you plant it, it goes down with thrips and other problems. Well, you have a build up a disease in those areas. And by the, you know, with the use of harsh chemicals and stuff, you can get resistance and, you know, tolerance developing quickly. And, you know, just like human being, you know, you can adopt, so the disease can adopt to and changes. See, like our COVID, all of a sudden you're trapping one strain and another strain evolve.
Yeah.
Are the same way, no different.
We have a caller. Naiwan, good morning.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning.
Mr. BJ.
Hi.
How are you?
Fine, thanks. Happy to hear you as always.
I see you not in Grenada. You know?
No, I'm right here. I'm looking forward to seeing you. I haven't seen you in a while myself.
Yeah, well, they are holding on.
Well, you have to hold strain.
No, I think the idea that government come there to make I am lands available to potential persons that want to farm, and the age limit, the age is good, a good start. But again, coming back to what you all are saying, I am hoping that we can find regular markets for those things. And because if you don't have market, the young people are going to get frustrated very quick. You have to have a steady market. Marketing board role should be to find market for it. Because it's no use going and tell people plant, and the gentleman talk about the crops that they intend them to plant and whatnot, root crops and whatnot. You have to have a proper layout. Because if you give people a man 4 acres of land, and you have a proper layout of what he's planting there and the market for it, he's going to get frustrated sooner or later. And remember, you have a debt to pay, because you'll be listing this land, you have to pay lease, you have to take out a loan and whatnot. So I hope that all that is put into place before you select the persons, and not select by favor, because a fellow might be willing to want to go in agriculture, but he's not in agriculture, he don't want to be in agriculture. He take lands because he get the opportunity, but is he willing to farm? Is he willing to take that risk? These are things that have to be put in place, so that otherwise it's going to be a shine again. Marketing board have to play the role, or there have to be some way of letting out. Why bananas were so successful? Because regardless whatever happened, we had a market for bananas. This boat comes, you would have your problem if you have your bananas undergrade or you have damage or so. But otherwise, all the bananas that you could ship that was good was certain. Once your banana reach within the time that you have to, that the boat will be in, they have to take all the bananas. So if the boat come and the boat can't take more banana, the association still has to pay you for it once the banana is in within the given time. So farmers are guaranteed. And if we can't guarantee this thing, it doesn't make sense sending back the people to the land. Again, you see what happened. Government had, the gentleman say 40 acres, 45 acres in Diamond, government land. 60 acres, 64 acres in Bacolet, government land. These lands were just lying there for years, weak. We have to have a better land policy. Can you have all this? That is over 100 acres of land the government have. That is lying there, not being occupied, not being used. So the structure going into this thing, into this new era, you have to have a proper structure in place. Otherwise, what's going to happen? You get frustrated again. Just like all the people at government, we saw the big estates to Granba and the estate in St. Andrews, Bellevue, and so on. You realize that they're not doing well and what's that? Because the proper structure was not put in place. Government estates could pay. They have about 100 and some acres of land in Bocage. These lands and them could pay, but we had to properly structurize them. They have to be, and you have to know really what you put. For instance, right now, BJ, you know it, the amount of soursop that Grenada could produce. We don't have it. So there's room for soursop. You could put on acres of soursop in the thing and they still have market for it. So it doesn't make sense letting people go and farm what they want and then you can market it. There is room for certain things. Look at corn. We import in corn. Cornmeal and whatnot. Grenada should be able to have enough corn planted to be able to sustain. So I'm hoping that the authorities looking at it from that point of view too. Because if we can't sustain these things, if we cannot find market for these things, we go to come to a sham again.
All right, thank you, Mr. Bishman.
Just start off letting see that.
All right.
Good.
Yeah, I think Clifford is making some very useful point here. We need to structure our agriculture properly. We need to, no hard feeling. I've made a lot of money through marketing board, but I've lost a lot of money through them also. This place need to wake up. How they have new manager in place or something like that. They really need to shake up that place. Simple like that. You have no two ways about that. The purpose for which this thing was set up is not achieving it.
Okay.
You need to have guaranteed market. Guaranteed market is the key for people to, the word is incentivize. Yeah, you need to be, you need to have high morale when you're going in and farm. Farming is hard work everywhere, not in Grenada alone. And in order to encourage and motivate people to go back and farm in a serious way, you need to ensure, and they themselves need to ensure, that when you produce this stuff, you're able to sell it. Grenada is a little place, 80, 90,000 people. There is no sense in you going and overproduce something. And how much farmers we have in Grenada? 30,000? So almost everybody is a farmer and doing a little thing around the house, which is good. However, if you want to do it as a business, you should be able to sell this stuff that you are going to cultivate, you are going to produce. This is where the problem is. I would like to see we get involved in some projects rather than we just send in people and say, give me a business plan or present a business plan and you can get a bit of land here and you can go in and farm. I want us to take a different approach. What should be happening in places like, and I'm not saying that's the blueprint for everything, in places like, say, Chambon, in places like Grand Bacolet, in places like Diamond, in places like Canberra, you find projects for those places. Let me give you an example. How comes Kenco can come in Grenada with a little blueprint in their hand and say, hang on, we're building a distillery and we need to cultivate 400-500 acres of cane and we can cure this rum in some barrel and make millions. I wonder if you understand the point I'm making. Why can't we do the same for, Clifford was saying, cornmeal? Why can't we have a little small area like Chambon, provide the water and set up a mill there? And you have mills that are very versatile, little factories that are very versatile, that they're able to process more than one commodity by just switching something around. They have them all over the place. So why can't we do corn and say cassava? And encourage the farmers to, even if you give them the land, those are the crops that you need to cultivate because the market is readily available. Those are the things that we need to engage in. We need to engage in projects whereby when you produce this stuff, you are able to add value, you are able to sell this stuff. So you have that constant flow of revenue. Let's face it. How many companies in Grenada that can go to the bank and say, hang on, you know something? We have a cash flow problem, but we have $300 million in stocks. So we want a loan of $50 million. The point I'm making, brethren, you cannot do that with the raw materials. The raw material is going to spoil, and it will spoil faster than you expect. You need to process this stuff, but at the same time, you need to ensure that you have a market for it. In that way, you add value, you create jobs, and not just adding value and create job, you're increasing the shelf life, the longevity of the product. I don't see I go and buy some things in the store and I have a look good. And the expiry date print so small you can't even see it because I don't blind already. When I go I say, oh, this thing that tastes so funny. When me look, the thing expire a long time. But I have it on the shelf still. The point I'm making is that, you know, they're able to add value, they're able to preserve the thing, they're able to market this stuff. So how comes we can't do the same with our crops and, you know, why are we buying corn flour and why are we paying $15 a pound for some farine? And why can I go by Mr. White and say, White and this some cassava bread? Why I buying some cassava bread from Village Bakery? I can't taste no cassava in it. I better buy some white flour bread. I don't know if the thing's scarce. The point I'm making is that there are a lot of opportunities, and we turn around sometimes and we blame government and we blame who. Government have put a whole heap of money in agriculture, you know, brethren. Of course, I want them to put more, but they do put a lot and they do support the whole process. In a lot of cases, it's we as a people that are not coming together and do this thing collectively, you know. This is where the problem is. We need to take a collective approach with regard to developing agriculture. An individual by itself may do a thing, but that's not the way you want to go. You want to ensure that you take everybody in the net. You secure everybody. So nationally, agriculture becomes something of, you know, of interest, something that brings in revenue, something that generates, you know, jobs, you know, those kind of things. This is the kind of approach we need to take. It may take a while, but we have to start somewhere. It's 9 o'clock.
Yeah. So, BJ, just before we go, but you don't have to answer now. We can say before the next program. There's a question here. How come we have problems accessing the market? So we can discuss that next time.
We can discuss that marketing next Thursday.
Again, BJ and JD, it's a pleasure.
Yes,
always a pleasure.
As always, Brandon.
Good to be here.
I'm telling Andre don't come back. Andre, good morning.
All right. Again, guys, thank you for being part of the program. Have a good day. Be safe out there.
All right.